Welcome, brothers and sisters. Let's hope I can keep a signal. So, the EU trade deal is done. As I mentioned on a short video, subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Hopefully, a couple of you can join here because I know some of you had questions on health and everything, but you got to turn on your notifications because I haven't been going live. I hope everyone had a great weekend. For you, brothers and sisters across the pond, wherever you may be, welcome. So, crypto not exploding because it's Sunday, which is very odd. It should be rallying pretty good right now with what just went down. So, about an hour or two of negotiation, you have yourself a trade deal. EU is going to be tariffed at a 15% rate. They had a surplus, so they're rebalancing. America, 0% tax. Unfrickin' believable. But what's great about that is the EU is opening up their countries, right? 750 billion in energy they'll be buying, 600 billion more investing into America. Like I said, they're opening. They're also going to be buying military equipment. That is not a number is not on that yet. They'll be buying ag. Unfortunately, I hate to see them buying animal agriculture because that I would like to see eliminated, period, from this world, but that's for another time. So I don't care so much about what the deal was. I'm glad it's done, and it's only a 15% tariff on the EU. That is good for me. I get my business gets a lot of stuff from EU, a lot. We already had 2 price increases, so I'm curious to talk to corporate this week to see if we're going to lower it for our distributors. Anyways, that's done. There is a pharmaceutical tariff coming along in the next couple of weeks that Trump is going to announce, Howard Lutnick said, because we want pharmaceuticals back here in America, he says, which is not a horrible idea, but we don't need to tariff it. We just need to demand it and incentivize it. And if that doesn't work, then tariff it. So I do like that. No break on aluminum and steel. That's worldwide. And all the tariffs go into effect on August 1st. Doesn't mean with other countries negotiations can't take place, but the tariffs go on. Isabel Garcia, hello. Welcome. So it is good news. I'm not surprised that the market is not responding crazily just because it is Sunday. Bitcoin got to 119,000. It should be at 125 with this news. It should be exploding. The volume's not there. Asia's not awake. Institutions are not in business until tomorrow. I'm really hoping that changes solely. So, hey, cute cow, thank you. It's better than my face, that's for sure. I'm in my house, and I'm kind of walking in the basement, have a large basement, and it's too hot to go outside and do this. It's about 93 degrees. Hell with that. My wife and 2 daughters are with my mother-in-law at a play, and my other daughter's in the city. So I'm alone with the dogs. So I thought I would go live real quick after this EU. How are you guys doing? You good? What do you need help on? Can you hear me okay? Give me a yes or no if you can hear me okay, because my phone, it's a brand new phone, has been cutting out like crazy. So let me know if I have any dragging issues. Where I'm at located right now, I could have some. Yes, okay, thank you. So I'm very anxious to see what happens tonight, and I'm very anxious to see what happens tomorrow when the market opens. I wish this news happened tomorrow because it would spark, you never know what's going to happen, but it should certainly spark a big rally. To strike a deal with the EU is the biggest thing they could do. China's next. And India. That's the biggest thing we could do. With the UK, that's meaningless. Love the UK. But, there's not going to be a lot of trade there anyways. But whether it's just out of getting it done, I'm good with that too, It's better to negotiate and get it done. So, I don't like to give props I only give props where props are due, and I'm pretty happy about this. I just think it's great. It's good for my business. It's good for America. And really, this the stability of the rest of the world. we don't like uncertainty, ambiguity. We want to get it done, and it looks like it's done at this point. You can tell that the dogs are cute. Thank you. So Bitcoin 118,966, XRP $3.21, Injective. I'm gonna go over my portfolio real quick, and I mean real fast. I'm just gonna go over all the projects I own, and if anyone has any questions, this is for people who have asked me. I haven't done this in quite some time. I'm just gonna go through it fast. All the projects I own: Bitcoin, XRP, Injective, Propi, Ondo, Moonwell, XEN, which is Onyx coin. Bought that at an extreme low price. Every penny it goes up is $30,000. So, because I bought a ton of it. But I barely invested in it. It was one of those stories of little money down. Same with AIOZ, and it exploded. And so it'll be hard to get underwater on that again. So it's just a continuous upstream, downstream, pretty good in the money, but something I'm hoping to sell. I'm hoping it gets to 10 cents or 20 cents, 30 cents, and I can get out. Cardano, Velodrome, Say, Avalanche, Axelar, Benki, Cody, Near Protocol. What a dud. Near Protocol was at $11 at one point, within the last year. It's at $2.91. That's why I say we're nowhere near where we were, within the last year at those highs. Not even the all-time highs, at those highs. So for us to just get back there is going to take a lot of wind in our sails just to get near back up to $10, $11. Not to mention all-time highs, which Coinbase is, of course, having an issue. All-time highs is $20, right? And it was going to head there if the market just remained the same. Well, so when I talk about alts, people getting excited when they go up 100% from here, right? Something goes from $2 to $4. Who cares? I mean, that's great. It's better than going down, but it's still nothing compared to something that was just at $11, right? So when I make those comments, there's something behind it. It's not just trying to be a curmudgeon. AIOZ network, Ethereum, Metis, which goes along with Ethereum, Marlin, Solana, Quant. Looking forward to selling Quant. Illuvium. Illuvium's way down. Aave. Bought Aave like $60. SparX. That's SPA. It's another one I have a ton of, and it'll eventually move. It's well in the money. District OX. I bought that one instead of Decentraland last bull market, right? Like I bought that I'll tell you one. Bought it instead of Decentraland, and Decentraland got exploded. And of course, Coinbase is working like crap. Say hell yeah, Noah. What's happening? All right. So Coinbase, of course, is a piece of crap and not working well. But I bought it, I believe, in like 2019, 2020. Scale, Alchemy Pay. Alchemy Pay, I bought right when I had Coinbase, like at 9 cents. I could have sold it for $100,000 profit that day. Didn't. Wrote it all the way down to a penny. And it's been at 3 pennies now. So for me to get out, it's like 9 cents. Will it get there? I don't know. It's at 2 cents right now, 2.5 cents. Polkadot, it's crap. Anchor, Goldfinch. Goldfinch is crap too. Degen, crap. But it's all right. I have a ton of this stuff. Turbo, Floki, Vara, Bonk, TrueFi, Suku, AMP. Don't get me started on AMP. Hundreds. I have like 3 or 4 million of that at like 6 cents. I lost a ton of money on it. It's okay. You really don't lose unless you sell. VThor token. Flare, which was an airdrop for me. Shadow token. Got my ass kicked on that. Basic attention token. HBAR. Celestia. Cosmos. Do not buy Cosmos. Aaliyah. Core. That's it. A few others on the list that I may buy if we actually get into a bull market for alts, but as of right now, that is it. Pardon me. Let me text my daughter real quick. Thank you, love. Have fun, be safe, stay hydrated. She's at a festival in the city, and yet she may be 23. I want her rested because we're going to buy her a car tomorrow. She's buying the car. But I did all the legwork. So what do you guys need? What do you need? It's we should be exploding, my friends. Let's see what happens. I mean, this is very big news in my book. I don't I'm pretty even keel about where I think the market is and where it's going and realistic, but no one's paying attention. I can tell you that right now to crypto, because it would be exploding if they were. As I said, we don't have the institutions, nor is Asia awake now. I'm hoping Asia awakens tonight, and maybe Bitcoin's at 120,000. That would be great, and then we can liquidate. We could have a hell of a run. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it should. Theoretically, that should happen with this type of news. You cannot underscore the meaningfulness of this. As I said, I give props where props are due. I have to say, I don't love these tariffs. I don't love a ton of it, but I get it. Right? If America's not allowed to trade in other countries, but yet we're taking in everything from them at zero tariffs, that has to change. It does have to be equal. If we are the consumer economy, America, the largest consumer economy in the world, which is not a great thing. It's not a great thing. Like I said, I have 3 kids, they're grown, but to look at all the wasteful shit that we got for them and presents and all that, and just how people buy new iPhones every 2 years, just the consumables and the waste, it's not a good thing. I would rather us be more like Europe, that's more conservative in like what they buy, what they need, the way they eat. Not fast food every second. You go over to Europe, the wheat and everything is completely different than here. Everything's manipulated here in a lab. Even the ketchup that is made here is made differently. It's with corn syrup versus over the border in Canada, which is made with cane sugar. Both are shit, but cane sugar, they're both shit. It's better at least. Or Europe bans thousands and thousands of chemicals that America doesn't. So I'm saying there's big differences. I wish we were a little more like that in mentality and actually work-wise, because we do a lot of stuff in Europe, and they have a different mentality. And when it comes to work, America is just go, 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 go. But so is Asia. So good stuff. I'm pretty happy. Well, let's see what happens. I have big expectations, not hope, but expectations. I'm going to say, if we get the volume coming in, we get the things done right that are needed, we actually get, here's the thing with the interest rates. Jerome Powell at his meeting now knows what the tariffs are going to be. The ones that truly matter, right? Not everything's set with China, but it's set with Japan. It's now set with Europe. He doesn't need to wait another 3 months to see what that does to inflation. Nobody doesn't care about our markets. His businesses, he'll tell you every time, price stability, employment, labor costs. Well, that's getting affected. People need to buy homes. People need to buy cars. Time for him to lower rates. He does not have the excuse of the uncertainties. 15%, it's locked in. Time to lower rates by 50 basis points. If he lower rates, I can't imagine him doing more than 25. But he has no excuse now. I'm not saying he's going to do it. He might, just for the hell of it, want to stick it to Trump, which would be wrong. For the good of the world economy, he needs to lower rates. Anyone who tells you different does not know the economy. They're sitting in it on a desk. They don't worry about bills. They're set. Just like Trump when he says there's no inflation. There's always inflation. That's a stupid comment. There's no such thing as no inflation. Right? The car my daughter's about to buy was about $7,000 cheaper 5 years ago. That's inflation. It's not like it got more expensive. The dollar was devalued. So, no reason to not start the cutting of rates. That could just be great for everyone. 25 basis points, 50 basis points is not going to do anything to inflation. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And it'll help out, you know, he even says that he knows this could be a struggle. He's been saying that, for years now. The struggle is real for people needing loans or businesses needing capital for investments. So he needs to loosen up policy. And that could spark something good, not just in equities and crypto, but overall economy. A lot of these trades with overseas, that helps companies. That's nice. But could it trickle down to the average Americans? I don't know. I mean, you're hearing talks of a possible rebate with all the tariff money they're going to be taking in. That shouldn't happen. Nobody, at a price point, maybe it's $100,000 or less, you'll get a rebate, like a stimulus check. That's a bad move. Take the money, put it to the deficit. Lower taxes. Take away capital gains taxes on crypto. That's never going to happen, but that would be wonderful. That would be a life changer for all of us, right? Could you imagine being able to, I don't trade anymore, but I would a lot. Not leverage, but I would trade. I would buy, when you have good capital, you can buy. If there's no capital gains, I could buy Bitcoin at 118,000, sell it at 25,000 because it'll keep rocking back and forth. You can buy something in a bull market. Things roll between prices, support and resistance all the time, and it tends to keep doing that over and over again. If you had no capital gains taxes, not a pain in the ass. And without capital gains taxes, you don't get a write-off on the commissions, the charges from your fees. So I don't think that'll happen, but it certainly would be nice. I couldn't imagine what that would do to the markets, because the equity markets would be crazy. There's massive traders. Crypto Homes, hello. So, projects on my portfolio that I really like. I don't love them all. A lot of them are risk takers. I'm just going to go through some of my higher end ones that I really like. Obviously, Bitcoin, I'm not buying any more of that. I own that very low. Going to keep it for quite some time, but I'm not going to keep it forever. Do like XRP, and I don't love it. I don't love any of these necessarily because of utility. Utility does not equal price. Some of them I love the idea of what they do, and I'll go over that. But it's not equating to price. Bitcoin, XRP, Injective, Proppy. Okay, that's one that I love. I think it's great, but the price sucks. 83 cents. I was up quite a bit of money on that a bit ago. I chose not to sell it. I could have bought it back lower. That's my problem. The hardest thing in crypto is taking profits. Even for someone like me who's been doing this long before crypto was invented. When I was in the stock market, it was difficult to sell. Early on, it wasn't. But then when I would sell, when we were in a bull market, in the equities market, in the bonds, I would sell, and it would go up 1,000% after that. Back in the day, before during the dot-com craze, you had stuff moving quicker than crypto does. I would buy something at $8 and sell it at 70. I buy something at, I did a bunch of penny stocks, 30 cents and sell it at $3. That's huge. Doesn't move like that anymore. Or maybe it does. I don't follow it. I just do my 401k and a couple other mutual funds just to be diversified. But Proppy is just, I think if no one owns property, which it's related to property in their portfolio, this is a good price to get it at. Great tokenomics, horrible volume, good team. Look into it. It's the deed and everything on the blockchain. It's a great idea. They're going nowhere. There's no need for that. There's no overhead there. They have a company. It's a real company. They just happen to put the titles and everything else and hopefully buying homes on the blockchain. That's actual utility. And like I said, a lot of times utility doesn't equal price. It has 100 million total tokens that are released. Injective, same token supply. And that got up to like 40 some dollars. It's at $15 right now. My point is that tells you with some volume, but I mean, the volume Injective gets first Proppy is ridiculous. But Proppy just takes 50 million volume and it'll get it to $2. I saw it there, months ago. Does not take much to move it. Definitely want to look at. I love it. Ondo, obviously. I mean, I have that at 21 cents, a ton of it. Would I be buying it at $1.05 if I didn't own any? Hell yeah, but I would have been buying it at 70 cents. But if I'm new to crypto, would I be buying it right now? I mean, if we get it to a bull market, my thought is $4 to $5 it could get to. That's my out. Okay, so I'm not saying that's where it's going to go. It could get to just $2. We may not, if we don't get an alt bull market. Moonwell, I love. Don't love the tokenomics. Don't love the volume. I think it's a great project. XCN, like I said, if I didn't own it, I would be buying it here. They're all high risk, but this is an extremely high risk one. I mean, I bought it at fractions of a penny ages ago. But it has a horrible token supply. But it's getting some traction. Volume sucks, but when it got up to 4 or 5 cents, I was up a ton of money on it. A few months back before the shit hit the fan with all the tariffs. And the volume was like 1 billion a day, which is unheard of. The volume today, this stupid, I'll tell you, Coinbase is the worst. When Brian Armstrong puts out all these videos or whatever on X, these posts, I'm like, dude, just fix your fucking app. Yeah, I can't even get the stats because it's a piece of shit. Moonwell will do fantastic. I hope so, man. I mean, I'm an idiot. I keep buying it. I mean, my first buys in, my average cost originally was under 3 cents, but it went all the way up to 11 cents, right, when things were looking good. And I bought some at 10 cents. So it raised my average cost. I bought some at 9 cents, 8 cents, 7 cents on the way down because I thought we were going to keep going, come back. My average in ended up being around 6 cents. I've brought it back down to 4 cents because of all my buying under 3 cents. That is the power of DCAing. That is the power of it. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm trying on Coinbase. It's just a hunk of shit. I think it's got like 40 billion tokens. I'll open up CoinGecko. It's fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, I don't have it on the other phone. Bear with me. You love XCN? Yeah, I think it's good stuff. Personally, that's why I have it. I would like to. Nothing works good. Technology. All right, let's see here. Volume 23 million, almost 24 million. That sucks. That's not going to move anything anywhere. But that's where XCN is. Got a max supply of 48 billion, which is atrocious. Total supply of 48.48 billion. Atrocious. 122,000 holders. FDV of 75 million. Yeah. Is what it is. What's up, Metal? Hey, man. Coinbase will be doing an upgrade this week. An upgrade on their... Yeah, I saw that. Will it be helping their app at all? Is that what they're doing? Or is it just an overall upgrade on their system? Hopefully it helps straighten it out. Because it's... I don't know if you use Coinbase at all, but I mean, it's been atrocious for 2 months or longer. It's just unbearable. I mean, I have other platforms I use, but, I'm stubborn when it comes to that. Happy Sunday, C90. Hey, I was pretty happy about what I just heard with the EU, so I just thought I would go live real quick. I'm in the basement, my home, pacing because it's as you know, Indiana's brutally hot. Illinois is 92 where I'm at right now. I'm pretty happy with what just went down. I can't believe you got it done in an hour and a half. Pretty good deal for America. Metal. Doesn't sound like he's too happy with Canada right now, right? So it looks like that's going to be a bad deal. I'm hoping that can get straightened out because it sounds like he's very frustrated. What doesn't frustrate him, right? But I'm hoping he can get that worked out, and China will be in good shape. But I mean, if you didn't hear the deal, it's 15% tariff we're charging the EU, 0% for America. They're going to invest. They're going to invest about over 600 billion in America, more than they're already doing. They're going to buy 750 billion worth of energy, which will end up being more. Also opening up to they're going to be buying. There's not a number on it, but for military equipment and ag and a bunch of equipment and autos. So we have a 15% tariff on them, 0 on us, which, I mean, how could you do any better? They had a surplus. We had a deficit. The president, not our president, president of the EU said we wanted to rebalance it. What a great way to put it. Basically, they know they've been taking advantage of us and they're rebalancing it. So I have to say, I have to give credit where credit's due. Good job on the orange man. Good job on the frickin' orange man. I mean, how can you argue with that? Get it done in an hour and a half. I hope everything goes smooth when the tariffs begin August 1st. Aluminum and steel remain worldwide. But that's not bad news, brothers and sisters. And like I said, if it was Monday, the market theoretically should be going crazy. Bitcoin should be at 125K. Chainlink, it should be at 5 million. Just joking. Let's see. Just got home from a nephew's baptism. I missed the news. Yeah, so it's good stuff. C90. Good stuff, but we'll see what happens, right? Until the dotted line is done and it's all said and done. He don't like Canada. We will see. But don't sound like it. Yeah, I mean, he's an idiot. Trump's an idiot no matter what he does. But they're all idiots in all governments. Tariffs also paused on China for 90 days until November 1st. When did that happen? I missed that. Are you sure? Crypto Homes? When and where did you hear that? Because that would be absolutely lovely, but please confirm that with me. You don't believe that, though, do you, vegan? 5 milli? What do you mean? Hold on. No, I'm not understanding you, Metal. Believe what? What don't I believe? Clarify, please. If it has to do with Trump, I don't believe anything he says, but I don't believe anyone, usually anyways. But let me know. I'll be looking. I confirm his China news. Oh, really? Did he release that today? Because he didn't really take a lot of questions. It was like a 15-minute thing after the meeting with the two of them. He didn't really take any questions, but that's great news. Especially, they've been saying there's no extensions. So I have to say that's pretty damn good news. Let's see with the market. Yeah, Bitcoin is at 119. It's a Sunday when it's like that. Come on, Asia tonight. Can't wake them up fast enough. Let's see if they're smart. I have no idea where the shorts are above us, liquidation tables. I don't really care about that. I do love that stuff, but I don't pay that much attention to it because I'm not a trader. The majority of us aren't. So it goes where it goes. It hits them if it hits them. If you're a trader, you need to know that stuff. If you're a holder, it'll eventually hit the longs or the shorts. But how is BTC only at 119? That is just mind-blowing. Yeah, 3 to 6 hours ago. Okay. Watcher Guru, check it out. Announced 5 hours ago. Okay. Yeah, I've been Not really. I've been tuned out for a bit. I will check it out. Thank you very much. 3 hours ago, during the expected 90-day extension, the U.S. and China will agree not to introduce new tariffs or take other actions. Sweet. What he needs to do is convince China. He needs to meet with Xi. Get in the same room with Xi. He hasn't done that yet. And have them stop buying from Russia. You know, he needs to get back on with the Rocket Man as he did and have them stop supporting Russia as well. Let's end that shit. Let's end the Ukrainian Russian war. God, there's things I want to say about that with Israel and everything. I don't want to get into it. But, when you think Israel is starving, and I'm not taking either side right now. Well, Israel's starving Palestinians. It's not true. It's Hamas is taking all the food. We're talking Israel. When do we send food to Germany when we were at war with them? Or to Japan? No, we sent a nuke to Japan. And Israel, who was attacked, they're sending food and Hamas is stealing it. We just did $60 million worth of food and barely any of it's getting to them because Hamas is taking it and actually selling it. Is Russia sending food to Ukraine? No. So, war is war. As horrible as it is. I'm just saying it's the biasness against Israel is just astronomical in my view. They're far from perfect. No country is perfect. There's no love between countries. We do what we do with Israel here in America because it's in our best interest to have an ally in the Mideast. Okay, let me get off of that. But I'm hearing all this shit. I just can't, the questions that Trump was getting, it's crazy. Can't stop until Hamas is eliminated. Came out of Scott's basement. Besson's mouth. Oh, okay. So, I didn't, he said it very slowly. People think he's an idiot. He's far from it. He just talks like, he's not a smooth talker like DZ. Who's the most unsmooth talker? That'd probably be George. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Hold on. The wife is texting me at the theater. Let me verbally text her. That's awesome. I hope you have an incredible time. 90 more days. I love it. Love it. I'd like to have it completely done, and something like what we just did with the EU. But whoever's not happy with this in the sense of just getting the shit done, whatever it is, both sides seem happy. We just want it done, whatever the tariffs may be. Not at all. Sorry. No comment on that issue, but I disagree with your take on it, on the Israeli Hamas. Yeah, let's just leave that alone. Look, I don't want to see any innocent beings get hurt. That's not what I'm about. I'm pretty brutal with things. If you get attacked, fighting back. So I won't go down that road. It's not worth it. Everyone has their opinions. I feel horrible for any innocent. I know many Palestinians and Israelis, and it's just an ugly situation. Same with Ukrainians and Russian. Ugly. These countries are just kicking the can down the road, waiting for the next admin to come in. Well, that's true. That's always true. I think Trump will do a deal with Mexico soon. I hope so, because that affects my business too. EU and Mexico affects my business. I just don't think they've been moving forward too well with Mexico, the last I heard. Really, market's still doing nothing. How is that possible, guys? How is it that we're the only ones looking at the news? How is Bitcoin? Am I reading this right? 119,000, pretty flat. Got to 119,565, but now it's 118. I just don't see how it's not railing. That just shows you that nobody knows anything. The market goes where the market goes. What would they have been happy with a 10% tariff versus 15, you'd never freaking know. In my view, if I was the guessing man, like I said, it's Sunday, so you never know. Bitcoin should have taken off on this. Now, it somewhat did if you look at the last hour. If the fucking Coinbase would work. And that, it really didn't. I mean, it went up a couple $100, $500-600, and back down. So, I mean, all right, so we were at 117,850 today, got all the way up to 119,565. It's pretty almost a 2,000 swing. It's pretty sweet. That's why you got to love Bitcoin. What other things you know of that can swing thousands of dollars in one day, or $4,000 or $5,000? You gotta love it. C90, you gotta be loving it with all that Bitcoin you have. Supposedly Trump is traveling to China. The CEOs in autumn. Okay, it just seems like a long time to be waiting to do that, to meet with him, but we'll take what we can get. I think Trump will do a deal with Mexico soon. I already read that. Yep. Canada will be the last. Yeah, I mean, I think that's stupid. I think Canada, Trump's comments to Canada have been nothing but moronic. Even with him sitting next to him, your new prime minister, the things he said to him about buying Canada or whatever, is just becoming U.S. It's just offensive is an understatement. But, you just got to appease someone like Trump. And, that's why his whole administration, before they say anything, they basically blow him, kiss his feet, tell him how great he is. And then they go into, because of your leadership, your holiness. And then they go into their thing. It's just the way it is. So, sometimes you got to get along to get along. You got to play along to get along. And Trump is just one of those guys. I will say some of the things he's doing, taking me off guard, and some of them are working. I'll never like the guy. I certainly didn't like Harris. So, we get who we get. I just hope he does the right shit by everyone. And yet, Digital Asset News tweet reads, breaking EU tariff deal complete. BTC and alts rally. Buy. He did not put that. Digital Asset News, Rob, he's worthless. I used to, if you look at my video from over a year ago, I did a couple videos where I reviewed, right when I started this channel, reviewed crypto YouTubers. I think I had 3 subs. Metal was one of them. And I remember his comment was like, that's about right. I could agree with that. So bless your heart, Metal. You've always been a supporter. All of you guys have. It was, I did and I just kind of tore many of them a new asshole. And I was a little after I discovered Rob, and I was raving on him, but he doesn't offer anything of value. Nor do I. I'm just giving you my opinion, but it's like, buy. I think that's a stupid thing to say to anyone. Because people in crypto, I would say 80% to 90% of people in crypto that I look at in the comments scare the hell out of me. And one of the reasons why I started this channel, because they're robots and they just have total hopium. And those are the people who get burnt. They're the people who buy AMP at 6 cents and still have it at 0.0038. Those are the people who come in last or just love all the dips. I don't love dips. I take advantage of them in a bull market. And in a bear market, it's when I buy, but I certainly don't love them. I want to go up, sell off a little bit, up. That's a bull market, not where we're at right now in altcoins. I just don't get that. Rob seems a nice enough guy. I don't know when he ever adds value. Reading the news and giving opinion, his opinions are, he's pretty truthful, I believe. But then the hopium that all the channels give you, I can't handle that. When I was younger, I was my wife's credit card. As volatile as BTC. That's so true. Yeah, my daughter, I'm going with her tomorrow to get the car. She's freaking out a little bit, but, it's got to be done. She's the oldest, and I've given her all 3-year-old cars after I'm done with them. She's beating the shit out of them. Now she's getting her own, and it's on her. car payment's going to be, I think, about $440 a month. Going to be $160 a month in insurance. And whatever else, gas, $200 a month. It's time to 23. You got to do it, still living here for free. Got our first job, like real job after college. So whatever. Yeah, credit cards are the scariest thing. I've never had credit card debt. My wife once got us, didn't pay a bill once ages ago. When I stopped caring about that, I didn't want to see it because I'm the only one who works. So I don't love seeing the bills come in and money go out. I went nuts. As soon as her and I got married, I paid off her student loan debt immediately. I just never believed, I don't want that. If I can afford not to have debt, it's gone. It's gone. Now, with cars, I've taken a little debt when it was 0% interest back in the day, before many of your times. And I would get also a rate of like $299, which is what my daughter's getting tomorrow. That's different. That's cheap money. But I also would do it for like 3 years. So my car payments would be like $550. I'd put a lot down and get it done in 3 years. So my interest rate was, I would pay in interest maybe $900. To me, that's somewhat free money to not dish out $30K or whatever I did at the time. I haven't bought a car for some time now. Canada ain't chopping at the bit to get the trade table either. No, I agree with that. They don't seem to care, which I think it could be a mistake. I just don't think, I don't know, Trump is, so volatile. I don't think it's worth it, but, you got to do, your country needs to do what's right for you, for your country, that's just the bottom line. But we should be getting along with our brothers and sisters on the borders, that's for sure. Though I do believe we need to do more in Mexico in regards to helping them eradicate the cartel, but that's infested the government in Mexico. Robinhood listing H-bar hash graph has helped the price. Yeah, that's true. What's the interest on the new car there? Yep. So I'll tell you, I'm a little behind here. Yeah. 72 months or 84 months. So it's going to be 60 months. 60 months, $299. So that's Honda. Toyota was like 6.7. Nissan, 6.7 or 7%. Depends. They couldn't even give me a full answer. Chevy, which I wasn't going to buy, I just went to a few places. They couldn't tell me a rate, probably 7%. 7%. It had nothing to do with my credit. Someone was in there with 824 credit, paid 8%. Grown-ass man. Honda's the only, that's why I'm pushing her to go with Honda. And it's only like the Accord and up. The Civic, which was a lower model, not as good of a rate. $299 is outstanding. Freaking outstanding for 60 months. And so her payments originally were $470 a month. I got them down to $440. Tomorrow I'm going to go in and say $430. Or I'll walk out, right? I won't. But I've already been beating them up like you won't believe, throwing in this, throwing in that. I couldn't believe they've done it. It's the end of the month, July, so they're looking to bail out of some of the cars sitting. Brand new car. So I'm working on pretty hard. Went back and forth between 3 Hondas. And we're good to go. Hopefully. I'll let you know how it goes. But I can't, yeah, that's a dealer incentive at $299. That's exactly right, dealer incentive. No one else is offering that. Or at least I just went to the dealerships that I told you. I was going to go to Kia, but I've known some people who have Kia, and they're not as reliable. And the first car she had when she was like 16, I gave her my Honda and Accord, and she loved it. Hoping these tariff deals back companies want to open up on hiring. Yeah, yes, I understand. You're still out of work, dude. Just did a private loan to a guy, $70K at 6.5. Jesus. A private loan. Well, that's okay. You're loaning him $70K. I think 6.5 is a perfectly fine rate for you putting out that risk. I would walk out don't insult me with 830. Yeah, the guy was desperate. Had to do it. I think it was like 820, 824. He said, I think the highest score you can get is like 830. And this is what the sales manager, actually the owner's son at McGrath Nissan in Illinois, he was, just telling me that. But, I didn't like the Nissan I drove. And when you factor in the interest rate, it's less of a car than the Accord, way less, and be paying more than double the interest rate. So thousands of dollars more in interest, which makes no sense. The Honda Prologue hasn't sold well at all. I think they're 0%. Wow. Yeah, I believe there's a lot like a Nissan, like I think the Pathfinders and all that, the stuff that was like 50K and up, 0%. The big cars that aren't moving, exactly. But her budget, I think the car was like 30 some thousand. I think it's going to be around 27 out the door, something like that, with all the, recently graduate, that's $500. Then there's a couple other incentives, dealer stuff. And, we'll see. We get it. Hopefully they don't try to mess with me tomorrow when I get in there and I have it on paper, and we'll see what happens. Till we're walking out of there, and then you go in the finance room and they try to get you to do this and that. It's just like, I tried to do all this ugly stuff before my daughter had to be there. Tried to do the hard negotiating before she was there and had to witness her dad do what I do for a living. VC, so been looking into seller financing on a few of, okay. Very smart. Wow. So what are your mortgage rates up there right now? If since you're in that. I have walked out of dealerships before unless I got 199 or less. Sweet. Yes. They're just there. That's just nowhere unless it's a higher end, $50,000, $60,000 car, which obviously is out of her price limit. She's going to be making good money, but she's going to be an art teacher. But the only thing she can find right now, she just graduated, was a full-time sub job, but it might be over in November. It's somewhere where she's student taught. Like I said, she just graduated in May, and they loved her. The lady is pregnant, having a baby. I'm just hoping she may stay out the whole year. If she stays out the whole year, it's great. Otherwise, I don't know what she's going to do. So it's a little scary because she's going to have this big payment. And if she's out of the job in November, they'll keep her on as a sub. But instead of making the good money that she'll be making, it goes down to a little bit each day, and it's, if you don't have a full-time sub position, it could be a little scary for her. So we'll see what happens. That's why I'm co-signing it and registering a little bit in my name. Because I'm registering it in my name as well in hers. Listen to this shit. Her insurance a month was going to be, if she had her own policy, $205. Now, because the agent said, no, have her own, do her own registration. If I keep her on my policy, it's $160 a month. Fuck you, State Farm. I'm going to have her, I trust her. It's my daughter. I'm going to have her save the $43 a month. Or maybe it was $150 a month. It was significant savings. So it's ridiculous. I mean, when I first got into insurance, I think I was paying $50 a month for my car. Ridiculous. Yeah, but right now you just do not have the upper hand. At Toyota in America, they have literally no cars on the lot. They said they're not sending us cars. They haven't done it since COVID. It really pathetic. And the poor sales guys in there, they're dying. The guy I could see, it just, who I test drove a car with, he was just like beaten down. He's like, yeah, I'm not making any money. I have no cars here. People have to buy it basically online with him. And they can't even give you a rate. So my thought is, if you're looking for a car here in America right now, a new car, right now, at least where I'm at, Honda's giving the best deals. Okay. See, my local Honda dealer is offering 099 on certified pre-owned 2024, $26,000. Okay. That's pretty good, but 13,000 miles is not bad. Maybe for someone like me or something, but her, I don't want her to have any worries, even though she won't. And she's going to be paying around that price anyways, just a higher interest rate. 2 points higher than that is worth it to me, getting a 2025. And it's basically she's paying the same price. For a brand new car with 6 miles on it. That to other people that would sound crazy. Like most people, always say buy used cars. Me, never. I will never buy a used car. Why? I buy a car, and we have it for 10 years. I am not a car guy. I could care less. I could buy what I want if I wanted to. I don't care about that shit. I just want something that is reliable, and I get a free car with work every 3 years. They used to sell it to me for $1,000, and I would give it to my kids. One of the reasons why I took this position, but now they don't do that. The last Subaru, that Crosstech I had, they changed the program. They wanted to sell it after 3 years to $17,000 for me, and I'm like, screw that. Not a horrible deal, but that's the price you pay for a used one at the dealership. They went to that. They went to trade fair market value. But that's not a bad deal, C90. It's just for her, for me, I don't fix cars, on my own. So they're just a liability. As soon as you buy a car, it's worthless, for the most part, depending on what you buy. You get money back. Like an Accord holds its value pretty good. But they're a waste. It's not like buying a house. It's not like buying the investment homes like metal does, where you actually can get income from it and it actually goes up in value. This house I paid cash for, it's worth double what I paid for it. The house I paid for in the city, I bought for $375. I sold it for, at one point it was worth $900K. I sold it in the bear market, but still $700, I think. And it was torn down. It was an older home in a good neighborhood. But I never feel good about buying a car. I never feel good about buying something that doesn't appreciate. Now, that's different in the house. You have to buy a furnace, which I hate doing any of that stuff. I'm cheap. But you got to do what you got to do. A car, it just never feels good buying one. To me, at least. People love cars. I'm not a car guy. Never was. All my buddies growing up, they love their Vets. They love their, I had an opportunity to buy a Porsche. Yeah, 10 years ago. Cash. Brand new. Nah. Doesn't do anything for me. But that's me. I appreciate people who love it. One of my buddies is a car junkie. Good for him. To each his own. I used to do that with guitars. I would spend $5,000 on a guitar in a heartbeat, or a banjo, or I play a lot of different instruments, and not anymore. So to each his own. On a 5-year fix, about 4. Okay, that's not bad. 5-year though. 4.3-ish. That's not bad. 10-year 5.5. Okay, climbing up. Still not Ronald Reagan years, pre-Ronald Reagan years. But, okay. Yeah, that shit needs to come down here. We need rates to come down to help out our housing. They need me to buy a car more than I need to buy a car. Exactly. They are desperately trying to sell all that inventory. Yeah, a lot of them have inventory, but like the Toyotas, like I said, don't. But it's true. If you don't need one, and your car's driving fine, I just don't believe in wasting the money on that. The money you save by not having I think I bought my wife a minivan, sold my Toyota 4Runner, bought her a minivan. This when the kids were a little younger. It was a 3% loan or $299. Our payments are like $320 a month. $320. The Honda Accord before that was like $425 a month. The Toyota 4Runner before that was $575 a month. It was a 3-year thing. 0 interest, though. It was 0 interest. Just I wanted to get it done in 3 years. But if you don't have to buy a car, never do it. Never, never, never do it. If you have an older car and you can keep it going and it's reliable, right? Maybe you don't want to take it on a huge trip. Okay. Rent a car then for that. If that's what, if you're scared to do that. Because the truth of the matter is I wouldn't take our minivan. When we just went to North Carolina, I rented a Ford Expedition. And we used to take the minivan all over the place. South Dakota, Missouri, Smoky Mountains, Minnesota a few times. And I just wouldn't do it now. It's just not. So the kids kind of drive it. And I have a work car, like I said, that my wife drives all the time. She doesn't work. I'm the only one who brings in an income. And so I just don't believe in it. All right. So that's my advice in regards to anyone who's listening to this, in regards to if they love buying cars, and don't waste your money. But you do you. I got this one refinance I did on a 3-plex during the COVID days. Nice. Oh, about $400K on it. Valued $950K. Your rate's 1.1. Holy Jesus. Well done, sir. Well played. See? That's awesome. Good move, man. Looking at owner financing at 7%-ish. Wow. Good job on that. Nasty Ninja. What's up? Nice little pump. Hoping AVAX can recover. Still down hard. Yep, down very hard. I think AVAX was a good buy, hanging around $17 for quite some time. You say nice pump. What is pumping? Let's see. I mean, Bitcoin certainly isn't. We got ASM pumping 42%. Zora, all these things I don't know of. Zora, 40%. Hopper, 24%. Venice, 20%. Gollum, oh my God, Gollum's still around. 19%. Let's see if there's any I care about. Athena, 13%. Right? Nothing. Degen, 9%. Still only at 0.0040. I think I started buying that right when it got on Coinbase at like 2 cents. So yeah, nice little thing. It should be larger. There should be a better pump going on, but we'll take what we can get. The portfolio's up. All your guys' portfolio up a little bit, I assume. It was looking nice. It took a little dip. Mine is down from a week ago from the the XRP pumps and everything pumping the other week, about 300K. Not underwater, but down from that. I am just looking forward to heeding Metal's advice and getting out of a lot of these projects that I'm in when I can get my money out of it. What projects are those let me tell you the ones I want to sell. But let me look at the comments first. You are correct. That sounds crazy. I drive a 2011. Nothing freaking wrong with that. I think the minivan is 2017, 16, something like that. The Ford Fusion's 2018 that I'm taking from my oldest daughter who's buying the car, giving it to my other two. And then I have that Subaru. I was going to buy, trade the Ford in, but she beat the hell out of it. I mean, she got hit once, and it's like, what? What can you do? It was, she drove it every day to college and to work, but the oldest, the other two are kind of annoyed because it was my oldest who got all the cars, so I don't blame them, but she was of driving age, You snooze, you lose. You come out second or third, you don't get the rights of the first child. But I will tell you, I didn't pay for my daughter's college. It helped her a little bit. I'm a firm believer that I provide the majority of everything for her. A place to live, all the food, my wisdom that she doesn't give a shit about anymore. It's amazing how these kids admire and look up to you every word and want to be around you all the time when they're young. But man, when they get older, they look at you like poison. I mean, I have a good relationship with her, but it's like I keep my opinions to myself now because she doesn't want to hear them. That's why I give them to you guys. But I mean, yeah, hold on to that 2011. If it's doing its deed for you, man, it's doing what it needs to be doing, do not get rid of it. I just can't believe the prices of cars. When you don't look for one forever, holy shit. Holy shit. I mean, like I said, the last, what was it, 2013 or something? Where are we at now? Yeah, 14. When I bought the highest end Honda Accord, it was $24,000. Highest end. But to give you some, that was right before backup cameras. That's how old it was. That thing was beautiful. We just lease daily drivers and write them off. Nice. I shoot for a cap rate 8 to 11% on residential and 6 to 8% on commercial and triple net leases attached to them. Metal, you should start a show and put on a freaking class. You could give Grant Cardone a run for his money. For the average man, you know what I mean? You know, I'd support you. You know, you never know if someone could find value of it. But, you know, you see how much work I put into my channel, right? Just joking. Only caveat is the rentals when you are under 25-year-old can be a little tricky. Rentals in regards to cars, yeah, that's what you're talking about. I don't think you can rent a car under 24 years old. Yeah, you can go to war. Trick when you're younger is to live upstairs and rent the basement's suites. Helps you qualify for your mortgage as well. Okay. Get a legal basement suite pad would help a zillion. Oh, that makes sense. Got to be a fast swimmer to me. Here you rent a car over 21, I think. Okay. I think it's here. Well, at least they always ask me are you going to have any, do you want any drive? Because I just rented any drivers under 24. Maybe it's a different rate. I never really asked because the truth of the matter is when we drove to North Carolina, it took us 13 hours. I drove the whole way and the whole way back and the whole trip there. Holy shit. On our way back early, coming home last Sunday, a week ago, it was a nightmare. It started to rain and we were had to go through the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee called the Tail of the Dragon. This road, that's where all the bikes go. This road is windier than you can imagine. Now, I was doing it all week. I was just not in the freaking mood. It's a nightmare, especially in a Ford Expedition, a giant car. And it could get a little nerve-wracking, you know. I got the dogs and the kids, grown kids in the car. It was just like 8 in the morning. I was not feeling it. And then I drove for another 12 hours home to flat-ass Illinois, through Indiana and Illinois. But the truth of the matter is I was happy to get to a straight road after a whole week in North Carolina. Loved it. It was beautiful, but everywhere you go, 3 miles took you freaking a half hour. You know, here 3 miles takes you 3 minutes. But Illinois is an ugly state. That being said. I went to Tail once a year on my bike for 10 years. Yeah, I love it. So this guy, I said this on a video, I think the other day. I felt bad. We were on this crazy part of the Tail. And I look over on the other side of the road. These guys are out of their car. Their motorcycles fell out. They had them not strapped down correctly. They didn't have them on a trailer. It was crazy. Or they did have them on a trailer, but it was not done right. And they went over. And the look on their face was just like horror. I was like, oh boy. I couldn't imagine. It's 21. Okay. So where are we at? You know, the market's doing all right. We need some more shit coming in than this. What's the volume at? Volume's nothing crazy, but I mean, it says 228 billion. I don't know if that's correct or not. Let's see what CoinGecko says. Fear and Greed at 64. All right. Very surprising. that Bitcoin is not dancing more than it is, but whatever. Hoping tomorrow morning or tonight we can make a next leg up. We deserve it. We've been waiting. We've been patient. You know, I have a lot of comments on here. You got to be patient. This and that. It's like, what? I don't think there's anyone more. I might be, passionate, but I don't think there's anyone more patient than me and everyone on this channel. We all know it doesn't happen instantly, and just because you invest in something doesn't mean you're going to get shit out of it. Half of my portfolio will tell you that. But as I was going to say before, I, of course, went off on a tangent. Things I want to get out of. Things I definitely want to get out of are Celestia, Cosmos, basic attention token with I got a long way to go for that. That was a stupid move. Shadow token. Obviously AMP, but that's not going to happen. Bonk. Nah, Bonk, I'm up money. Vara, Floki, Turbo, Degen. Those are my main, and District OX and Alchemy Pay. Those are the main ones that I'm like itching to just get my money out of. If I take a little loss on them, I'm okay, but but all of them need to go, Alchemy Pay needs to go up from where it's at, from like 3 cents, below 3 cents to like 9 cents, something like that. Benki, I'm even looking to get out, but I'm down big on that. And that, I was a preacher of Benki for forever. It just has not materialized. But what has? Look at Avalanche, $25, $25. It's injective, $15. It's just, there's nothing in alts, my guys. Doesn't mean they can't pop up quickly, but it's not happening right now. He didn't say AMP. I couldn't help it. That basic attention, ugly one. Yeah, I was up a lot of money on that bastard last bull run, and I remember saying to my wife, should I sell now, make $300,000, or every dollar it goes up, I make this and that? She's like, yeah, do what you think. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait, because I'm like, if I sell it right now, I'm gonna have to pay short-term capital gains taxes. So I bought more. And as soon as I had bought more, it was on Thanksgiving night. I was showing my nephew crypto all the time. I go, watch this. I think I put in like 20 grand. That night, I think we came home and it was like another COVID variant. It was either that or transitory inflation or the Ukrainian war. It was one or this. I think it was the COVID variant. And the market shit, and it never came back. We had, horrible thing after horrible thing our last bull market. We had all those things. We had Elon Musk. The start of it was Elon Musk saying we're not going to accept Bitcoin anymore because of the energy of inefficiencies, which was a crock. Don't hear much from Elon these days, do you? Yeah, that was very upsetting. So instead, I got my ass kicked on it. But I'll hold on. If I could sell it at 50 cents, I'll take a loss, but I'll be all right with it. AMP is just not coming back. It crawled back a little bit. What did it get to? 1.5 cents? There was it was following Jasmy. It actually had a few hundred million in volume, and then everything got killed again. Right? We need just to get it going. I don't want to hear that I'm impatient. We've all been waiting. The only thing that's been great is like Chainlink, Solana, AIOZ, Ondo. Avalanche has been fine, but it's still down from the. All right, so hold on, let's see. Yeah, AMP got to like $1.40. A penny 47. Back December 3rd, right when things were looking nice. But you had Injective. Coinbase, you suck. I can't do my graphs good enough because Coinbase won't let me. That upgrade better do something, damn it. Yeah, I'm an AMP addict. That's right. I hate AMP. I bought that project and It's advice that I always tell people not to do. It was last bull market. I bought it because of BitBoy. He was in his car. He talked about and he was right on everything, but it was easy. In a bull market, everyone's smart. I was killing it. I made some bad moves. Like I said, I didn't buy Decentraland. I bought District OX instead. I didn't buy Chainlink. I bought XRP over Chainlink. It was when they were both in 30, 20 cent, 15 cent, whatever it was, ages ago, 17 cents. I bought XRP over that. I should have bought them both. Chainlink would have been much better. So Injective got to $53. It's at 15. It's not like that was ages ago. It was January. It was March of 2024. $54. $53. It's at 15. Got down to like 8. That's just, a little over a year ago. 16 months ago. So things just have a long way to crawl back to just to get to those. That's an all-time high for that, but it's a newer project. It's not like that's 2020, 2021. That's March of 24. So we got a long way to go. And taking profits on the way up. Of course you are. I like Link as well. I'm just not buying it. I like it as well. I think Link, if we get into an altcoin bull market, could do great, but I don't know. I'm not one who I only think of prices when I get into a project, not when I'm not in a project, right? So at one point I thought Benki could get to like 30 cents. That was my out. I'll be happy at 2 cents. I'll be happy at 1.5 cents. But like Link, people thinking $100 and some dollars, I don't see it. I think Link moves pretty slow. I think you get to like $25, $30, and then it'll a lot of the the juice will fall out of it and go into other projects, like everything else. I just don't see it going to $100, but I don't know. Let me put it this way: if I bought it, if I owned it here, you own it at a much smaller price. Let's say I owned it at $15, I would be looking to get out of it at $30, me personally. But you are smart and would be taking profits along the way. That's the way to do it. So what I try to preach, I don't always do it, is take profits. There's nothing wrong with taking profits. You have to. That's why you're in this. But otherwise, you will ride it. I mean, look how long we've been down since, Trump came, when Trump was elected, not in office, but elected, things were going great. It was only a few weeks of greatness. Then December, shit started hitting the fan. And when he got in office, it's been nothing but horrible, except for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's done great. And before that, it's been 4 years of nothingness, 3-4 years of nothingness, of bear market, the depths of the bear market. We're down at the bear market prices on many alts, not on Chainlink, not on Solana. Those are up. A lot of them stood strong, but Chainlink came down pretty hard from where it was. Avalanche came down extremely hard. But then you have ones like Ondo that are up, things that are just in the money. And Ondo took a hit. I think it got down to 70 some cents, 60 some cents again, and trying to look up Avalanche, but it's running slow. So we got a long way to go. Hoping for 40-ish. Yeah, 40-ish is reasonable, complete in my view. Me personally, I'd be happy with 30, 35, 40. That would be a great out. You don't have to sell it all, as you know, right? You take profits, take your money out, maybe a little profit, taxes, let the rest ride. And when things are looking like, ooh, getting a little hairy, you can bail out if we get into that alt market. Later, C90. Uh-oh, VPU, I see you retracted a message. Were you going to offend my veganism? Do you know anything about Zora? No, I do not. Hold on one sec. Avalanche. So Avalanche is high as like 147, but we got to $55. Same price as Injective. There's no reason it shouldn't be $55. Yeah, so Zora. Let me take a look at Zora. I just was seeing that. Zora. Yeah, so 9 cents, up 40% today. I mean, I've been looking at it a few times. I just have not looked into it. Let me check it out. I don't mind paying. I just made a 10x. Beautiful. Good job, man. I don't mind paying taxes. Usually means I'm making money. Exactly. Well, you may want to think of taking profits or keep a close eye on it. Have a stop in. You know, I don't know what 10x means. If it's $100 or $100,000 or $1,000, you may remember you're going to probably pay short-term capital gains, or you just keep a very close eye on it. I mean, that's good, VPU. That's why you're in this. 40% is wonderful. Look at that. I mean, you're 10x, but it's up 40%. I can't get a read on it because it's Coinbase sucks. Let's see. Let me use a different app here. Zora. I'm graphing it a little bit here, taking a look. It's traded on quite a bit of things. Coinbase, Uniswap, Bybit. Okay. Zora is a social network. Oh, yeah, where every post is a coin. Zora is a meme coin for the Zora community. Yeah. So, good volume, 617 million. 10 billion circulating supply. All the supply is out. That is good. This is probably, a meme. Me personally, I would be holding on to if it's at 9 cents. If it keeps getting headwind, you could see this thing at 20 cents, I think. But there's going to be, it's already going down a little bit. And, in the last week, it's up 352%. In the last month, it's up almost 1,000%. So, depending on how much money you have in it, maybe want to take some off the table, or up to you. Here's the reason. Here's the reason of not selling. You're in the money extremely well, that you'll have time to sell it. You know what I mean? If it's trailing down. So you got a couple options, right? And you know what to do. Either let it ride and see where it goes. If it goes up another 100%, it's got some fire behind it. It's got some volume. If you see the volume tanking off of it, right, it going down significantly. Like I said, the volume right now is 617. If you see that getting down, cut in half, and you see selling starting, you can certainly take money off the table, or all of it, or you could just see where it goes. Good for you, man. That's what it's all about. That's why you're in it. Congratulations. Put in 1K at 0.0. Okay. It's an app. Okay. Nice. The supply is out. Yeah, I like that the supply is out. It's only 10 billion. I don't like 10 billion, but I've got projects. Look at Cardano. Look at XRP. XRP is at $3. It's got triple that. Look like it's getting ready to pump again. Where do you want to get out of it? I can assure you, anything I own 10 times X in a short period, I'm selling it. Of course you are, Metal, because you're smart. I try to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And it's always good to know you're out, VPU. Know what you want to make on it. Right? You're up $9,000 or something like that right now, or more. If you're happy with 10 grand, sell it at 10 grand, or sell 9 grand of it and let 1,000 ride. Remember, you got to take money for taxes. You're going to have to pay fees on that too. Just take money out for taxes, and take profits out too. At least your initial, you're in this to make money. Don't ride anything down. The likelihood of that dropping down back to where you bought is very unlikely, unless we have a crash. If we have a crash, sure. But it still may only go down to 3 or 4 cents. My point is you have options now because you're up so much. It's like with me and AIOZ. I bought it at a penny and it got up to $1, like 30 something, and now it's like at 40 cents. Should I have sold it all at the highs? For sure. I would have made a shitload of money. But I'm not going to, it's not going back down to a penny where I bought it. It's not. Ondo, 21 cents. It's not going back down there. In a true bear market, it could. My plan is to sell both of those as soon as I can, but it's got to get to the, I want to see a bull market before I sell that shit. I cashed out half. I've never ever done a 10x profit. Good for you. May that be the beginning for you. You own 10 billion project, let alone supply. Yeah. It's very good. All right. I hear my dogs barking upstairs, wanting me to let them out. I'm going to go do that. I love you, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to come in. I'm happy with the EU shit, metal. Hopefully our two countries work out their crap at some point. I'll try to go live often. I just, want to add value to when I go live. And for a couple people who reached out on health, I'm happy to do a video on that, depending on what you need. I commented to you earlier on what you're looking to do. So I wish you all the best. Have a great day. If there's anything you need, you know where to find me. Metal, have an incredible day. VPU, Crypto Homes, ZE if you listen later, C90, Nick, all my brothers and sisters. Have a great day. Metal, be good.